Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast, sponsored by Prize Picks. My name is Adam Cohn, I am your host, and it is a solo pod edition here today. So Dan will be rejoining us for the next main slate. So as always here on the podcast, we are going to recap the previous day's winning main slate lineup. So congratulations to Chris Lamb 92 on Chris's solo takedown of $5,000. So let's review this lineup. Chris had a three-man gambit stack with 2 EG and an FPX. Folks, Madden did it again. I'll just start off with that. Madden did it again. Another 80 frag performance. He went absolutely bonkers. And we can actually take a look. We'll take a little bit of time here, folks, and we're going to go into, let's see, his way to results. And after we go to results, we're going to go over here to, where's Fun Plus Phoenix? There we go. Complexity defeating Fun Plus Phoenix here today in IEM Summer 2021. Bummer, because FPX has been playing really well. I just think this team is, if Madden keeps playing like this, they're going to be in really good form. So let's take a look at it, folks. We had a 19-15 showing from FPX on Inferno. Complexity beat one Overpass 16-13 close contest, and the decider of Nuke was 16-10. One thing I'm finding interesting, Complexity is now banned Ancient twice. I believe the last Complexity matchup, if I'm not mistaken, they also banned Ancient. So let's just over here to matches real quick. They played Sprout. They banned Ancient. Versus Team Vitality. They didn't ban Ancient, they banned Overpass. But this was also a best of one, so it really didn't matter. So in the two best of threes that we've seen from Complexity so far, they have banned Ancient. So I'll get to that when we talk about Complexity, Gambit versus Complexity. Not that it matters, it's Gambit, but we'll get there. So I just found that interesting. They're banning Ancient. So I'm not sure if this is going to be Complexity's new permaban, but we will definitely see. Alright, so let's get into it. Madden, 80 frags, 59 deaths. He was plus 21 and a 93 ADR. That is insane! He went absolutely off on this slate. So I think we really need to take a look at Madden. If he's going to start performing like this, the only one they're going to need to start stepping up is Zen. If Madden can pull this off, well, I highly doubt he's going to start pulling off 80 baggers, 80 frags rather, every single slate, or every single game. Like, that's, again, Dan and I talked about it yesterday. How often is he really going to do this? Like, what he did the other day was impressive. We head over to that match. That was Complexity. Was FPX. Fun Plus Phoenix. Matches. Versus G2. Madden had 82 frags. Okay. So I found this really interesting for Madden. We said it yesterday, 82 and 58. One off. Right? Like, maybe he just had a great ceiling day. They got to play Ancient. He went off on Ancient. On Ancient, he had half his frags. He had 42, was 42 and 19 on Ancient. So, I mean, if Madden can pull this off, I don't know if he's going to pull this off long term by high fragging like this. But I can tell you right now, Emmy needs to start fragging. And Zen needs to start fragging. Because Zen was minus 22 versus Complexity. Zen was minus 3 versus G2, so respectable. But Emmy was minus 25. Now, Emmy isn't exactly a high fragging IGL. Right? Like, Emmy's going to go in there and be more of an IGL than he's probably going to, high frag. Maybe it was just 2 off games for him. But Emmy makes this roster better. So my only issue with Fun Plus Phoenix is the lack of consistency that we are seeing from Stiko, from Farley, and from Zen. Madden is one of the most consistent players on FPX, in and out. Dan Todd and I talked about this the other day. So we'll get in our prize pick segment in a little bit. So Madden did it again. I said it yesterday. I'm not outright fading Madden. And even I thought he was going to be chalk after that 82 frag performance. He was 15.2%. So I was wrong there. I'll take the L on that. But like, look at these bonuses. He was 80, 15, 59, 9 first kills, a 1v3 clutch, 3 4Ks, 94 DK points. You needed him as the one-off. 3 Gambit. You know, that Gambit did exactly what Gambit does, is crush. And hello, Exile Ceiling Day. 53, 8, and 24. My under on Exile did not pay off on prize picks. So Inshiro was 35, 11, and 19. 110.25 DK points. Exile, 100 DK points in the flex. Nafany, I really like that differentiating your lineup that way with Nafany. Really a fan of that. As we know, Nafany can frag high. 36, 13, and 28 at 6,800, you get 68 DK points. I love that. And then the upset of the day is EG defeating Heroic 2-1 to advance. EG have made the playoffs. Dan and I said this when we started IM Summer. Zeus left. It could be one of two different things. EG are going to come out flat and be like, whatever. Or they're going to come out with fire under their butts. They've come out with fire under their butts. They knocked off the world number 2. Now, let's actually head over there and let's review that real quick. 2-game slate. We have time, folks. EG versus Heroic. These weren't exactly a blowout. So Inferno went to overtime. EG won 19-17. Heroic beat EG on Nuke 16-14. Okay, so Heroic went down to EG 4-11. But then Heroic doing heroic-like things. No pun intended there. 12-3 on their CT side to win it 16-14. Took all 30 rounds. Mirage. We've seen Heroic like a better Mirage team recently. Lost to EG 16-13. They were in the hole 5-10 to start on the Heroic's T side. On the CT side, they were better. So you can't really blame them there. I mean, it was a very even matchup. So I said Obo was well. I liked Mihu the best. 60-64 isn't bad. Obo went off. He was +8, 75, and 67. I mentioned it yesterday. I was going right back to the well on a cadiaN Tessa stack. They paid off. So I'll absolutely take that at lower ownership. So Stanislaw was the really interesting one. 60 and 60. Stanislaw and Inferno was +5, 28 and 23. On Nuke, Stanislaw was 18 and 22, and then on Mirage, Stanislaw was -1. So overall, he was even. But my goodness, Stanislaw looked good. Breezy, -14. We need to keep that in the back of our minds when we get to see EG in the playoffs. So I don't know what to make of this matchup. Like, if we take a look real quick, right? Like, we go to EG. Okay, we're going to take a look at Breezy, not Stark. Let's go to Breezy. Let's go over here to stats for Breezy. And let's go ahead and take a look at his matches. So just over the last couple, right? So IEM Summer, he was -1 versus Team Spirit. Okay, 18 and 19. It's Team Spirit, respectable line. Okay, he should be the ace of this team. Against Heroic, your ace went -14. Now again, I understand it's Heroic. It was different. Let's take a look map by map. Breezy on Inferno was -7. Breezy on Nuke was -8. Breezy on Mirage was +1. I didn't get a chance to see any of that game. If any, I need to take a look and see if Breezy just looks like I don't ever want to talk bad or guess about somebody. Does he look like he cares? And that's not a knock to him. You know, like, that's really not a knock. I've heard rumors Breezy considering Valorant. So, like, hopefully this run, you know, kind of sort of entices Breezy to stay. refine his Counter-Strike game. I'm not going to speculate on Valorant. That's a whole nother sort of podcast and soapbox for another day. But we need to see more out of Breezy. It may have just been a bad game. He might have just been completely overdone by Heroic, and again, that's understandable. So you know, to step up. That's totally fine. Could have been the game plan. So totally fine there. Love again. Obo and Cirque. Obo +8, Cirque +6. And at 7.1% ownership for Obo, 4.2% ownership for Cirque. They paid off their price tags. They crushed their price tags, and EG won. Even if they didn't win and say Heroic ended up winning the Mirage, they still should have had enough to have been optimal. And Chris's lineup was optimal by, what is this, like 11, 12 points. So, like, awesome. We take the second lineup real quick. You know, not much different. Had Madden, had Obo, had Cirque, had Shiro, had Exile. And it was Captain Exile. But they had Yakindar. Totally fine. You know, you played Yakindar. I'm totally fine with that. 35, 7, and 40. You know, the difference between that and putting Nafany in, who was 36, 13, and 28, less deaths, 36, and had more assists. You know, like, totally fine. That was a difference maker. And putting Shiro in the captain spot. So, again, congrats to Chris Slam 92. Solo takedown to $5,000. 3 Gambit against Astralis. I win Astralis. In Showdown. I got crushed. Totally fine. Like, I was trying to get off some of the Gambit chalk. Nafany at 10.4%. Love mixing that up. Didn't include Hobbit. Wasn't just the big 3. Nafany's always good to put in your Gambit stacks. Love the lineup. Again, congrats to Chris Slam 92 on your solo takedown of $5,000. Before we get here into the main slate, I'd like to take a chance to shout out our sponsor, PrizePicks. Head over to PrizePicks.com and head over to PrizePicks.com. Use the promo code CLUTCH. Again, that's promo code CLUTCH. New depositors get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. PrizePicks is, in my opinion, the future of DFS. For me, it's a wonderful hybrid model of DFS and sports betting. What I mean by that is you're picking against the line. And later on in this podcast, I'm gonna go over my favorite prize picks for tomorrow. That's on Prize Picks right now. You're playing against the line. That's all it is. You're not playing against a 200,000 person field competing for $1 million. You're playing against the line. And I'll go over Prize Picks in a little bit more detail later on in this podcast. But definitely check them out. Use the promo code CLUTCH. Again, new depositors get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. If not, use the promo code CLUTCH anyway. Really helps us out for them over there as well. All right, let's get into this slate. It's a 2-gamer. $3,000 to first place. Main large field GPP, the 12K clutch. Let's get over here to flex pricing. Game 1. First game on the slate. Virtus Pro versus Team Spirit. All right, let's figure out what we're doing here, folks. Let's start with the Virtus Pro side of things. Yakindar is extremely volatile. Yakindar, and Dan has been saying this for a while, and I agree. I think Virtus Pro have been found out. You shut down Yakindar, you weaken Virtus Pro. Buster has not been a solid 3 on this team. Sanji is a great support player. I think he's the support role on the team. Kicker needs to step it up as well. Right now, the weak links on this team, in my opinion, Buster and Kickert. If I had to pick one over the other, I think it's Kickert over Buster, but I think Kickert's a little more solid in his role. Buster needs to pick up the fragging, so maybe Buster then Kickert. But this team can roll. When they're rolling, they're rolling. But when we saw them in their elite form, Yakindar was going off. He was confronting, he was rushing in, he was taking duels, he was getting entry frags. We need to see more out of Yakindar. Maybe change up your play style a little bit. So, you know, maybe change up the play style a little bit. Because right now, he's getting found out. Now, James, Dan and I talked about this, is one of the most passive operas in Tier 1 Counter-Strike. So, James is fine. I think James is my favorite play from Virtus Pro. I'd go so far as to say I'd pick Buster 2, Yakindar 3. We know Yakindar has the highest ceiling of anyone not named James on this team. So if we just take a look, for example, let's take a look at your Kindar's past 5 games here on DK in terms of DK points. So this spans a couple of tournaments. So DreamHack, Epic, and IEM. I'm going to go from DreamHack up to the most recent IEM Summer 2021 event. Here are your Kindar's DK points. You can see the volatility here. 29, 75, 19. Oh, by the way, that 19 was versus Team Spirit, where your Kindar went 36, 9, and 57 with 8 first kills. And that was at 7,400. Versus Fnatic, best of 1. 23, 4, and 17. Dan and I were on your Kindar in that one. Remember we said your Kindar had high ceiling, 30 points in a best of 1. Paid it off. And then versus OG, this past slate, 35, 7, and 40 with 9 first kills for 43 DK points. At 7,400, it's not getting it done. So if we just take a look at his recent performance against Team Spirit, he got crushed. Okay, he got absolutely crushed. DreamHack, they faced Team Spirit again. Yukino did better. 50, let's take a look here. 51, 11, and 45 with 9 first kills and 2 4Ks. 76 DK points at 8,800. He paid that off. Yakindar, as you can see here by the DK points and by his stat lines, is extremely volatile. Teams are either anti-stratting him out, or he's just getting out-fragged as he entries or does whatever he does. Like, Yakindar is a fantastic piece for that team. So, I don't have a strong take on him. I can't say play him, I can't say not play him, but he's not a core piece that I'm building around. He's just not. Jang would be someone I'd build around for VP. Now, on the Team Spirit side of things, it's the op battle, Dexter versus James. Dexter is $9,400. Dexter is the second highest priced player on this slate. If we take a look at Dexter's last 5 games, again, someone else that's extremely volatile. This is going to span 4 events: DreamHack, Spring, Sweet Spring, Epic, and IEM Summer. The IEM Summer was the best of 1. Versus Virtus Pro. These are 2 VP matches. He had 49 DK points, 39, 2, and 35 back in DreamHack at the end of April, with 5 first kills, and he had 1 4K. 49 DK points at 9,000 was not paying it off. Versus Fours, 29 points. Versus Gambit, 41, 7, and 22, 9 first kills, a 1v2 clutch, 77 DK points at 7,400. That paid off. Versus Virtus Pro again, 51, 6, and 46 with 7 first kills, 49 DK points. That seems really low to me. I wonder why it's not higher. So, and Dexter versus EG was 9, 2, and 21. He was -2. So, I wonder if that 49 versus VP and Epic is correct or not. But anyway, it may be. I don't know if Dexter's someone I want to build around, but he's definitely someone I absolutely want in my large field GPP enemy build. Absolutely. I don't mind taking a shot in one lineup and a 3 max for him. Single entry, I'm not playing Dexter. Anything higher than a 3 max, absolutely I want exposure to Dexter. Mir at 7,600 is probably my favorite play from Team Spirit. He's 7,600. We know Mir is the main rifle fragger for this team. Again, someone else that's volatile. He's been bad the last 5 games, but before that he was crushing. So Mir is someone I have absolute interest in, someone I would build around from Team Spirit. My second favorite actually on this team for tomorrow, and shout out to my co-host Dan who mentioned this to me in, pre-podcast earlier today. He said Chopper was $5,400. Chopper is my second favorite play from this team. If you want to get really ballsy, I don't mind Captain Chopper. It allows you to get a lot of higher price players. Chopper, my second favorite from Team Spirit. Dexter 3, SDY 4, and Magisk 5. So, I'll start off by saying, I'll say this to close out this game. It's only a 20-man player pool. It's a 2-game slate. You have to find ways to get different to try a solo takedown. If we head over here to the Pinnacle odds real quick, and I'm just going to refresh these real quick. Team Spirit coming as a minus 146 favorite versus Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro plus 120 underdog. Complexity coming as a plus 237 underdog. Yeah. Complexity coming as a plus 237 underdog to Gambit. Gambit are a minus 301 favorite. With that being said, I think Buster is in play. I think it's Jane, Buster, Yakindar, Kickert, Sanji. All 10 of these players in play for MME. I mean, if you look at the second game on this slate, Gambit Complexity, it's not going to take me long to go over it all, right? Like, this is this is easy to go over. However, all 10 players are in play. Get different. My favorite value in large field GPP play, well, my favorite value play is Chopper. I don't know what the pricing is for Gambit or Complexity yet, so I'm looking at the pricing with all of you for the first time as I record this podcast. So Chopper just sticks out to me at $5,400, and Buster, to his credit, or to his price rather, is $5,800. So if Buster can get 58, 60 plus DK points, you love that. So take a stand on which team you think is going to win, because this is almost close to a coin flip. Obviously, we have Team Spirit coming in as a minus 146 favorite, but Virtus Pro only a plus 120 underdog. Team Spirit a minus 146 favorite. I don't know what I'm doing with this game yet. Haven't built the lineup yet. I don't know what I'm doing with this game yet. It's the next game that we're going to talk about, which I really think that we need to take a look at. Do we take the leverage and complexity or the chalk and gambit and try to figure out how to get different with VP and Team Spirit? So I think a 3-3 or a 3-2-1 takes the slate down. Before we get into gambit versus complexity, I would like to ask everyone if you could hit that like button for us and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. That way you all know every single time one of these podcasts come out. And, well, come out, however you want to say it. Leave a comment down below. Tell Dan and I what players you all like on this slate. Tell us what kind of strategies you're going to employ. Interact with us. We love hearing from our listeners. And we hope you all out there are winning a ton of money. All right, enough of the plugs. Let's get into it. Gambit versus Complexity. This should take me all of 2 minutes. Gambit should crush Complexity. They crushed Astralis. What in any kind of confidence makes me think Complexity are going to do any better? So, Shiro's the highest priced player on this slate at $10,000. Axile's $9,000. Hobbit's $8,400. Hobbit's one I want to actually take a look into real quick. Hobbit over the last 5 games, okay? So 2 DreamHack, 2 Epic, and IEM Summer 2021 versus Astralis. This is just the game log. I'm sure there's other different ones. So we have 85 DK points versus G2. 90 DK points versus Navi. Those were in DreamHack. Versus Team Spirit and Epic, he had 41 DK points. Then versus Akuma, he had 92 DK points. Versus Astralis, he had 57, so respectable. But you needed Shiro, Axile, Nafny in the last slate, as we went over in the previous lineup review. Hobbit's someone I have interested on this slate. I think he is a great choice at captain. I wouldn't say he's my favorite from Gambit. He's my favorite from a large field GPP standpoint. If you're playing single entry, you want to lock in Shiro and Axile and build around them in single entry, in my opinion. If no one is going to play Nafny with Shiro and Axile, or Shiro Hobbit or Axile Hobbit, love Nafny again, back in stacks. I don't mind a captain Nafny, honestly. If it gets you a Shiro or Axile, or gets you some other higher priced players, I don't mind that at all. Inter's at 6,200. Excuse me. Again, you can take shots on him. I wouldn't go more than 15% in a 20 max or above. Inter's is the support player for this team. He's not exactly a high fragger. We can go over his stats real quick. Inter's last 5 games on DK. 57 DK points, 56, 32, 41, 45. Enters definitely has a ceiling. He's got 60 versus Heroic, 93 versus Virtus Pro, but that might have been the grand final. Oh, it was the grand final of Katowice, I think. But he has a ceiling. I think that was grand final of Katowice back in February. But like we know, Enters has a ceiling. Okay, Enters has a ceiling. You can play him. I wouldn't go more than 15% in a 20 max or above. But everyone is in play. It's a 2-game slate. You have to find ways to get different. All right. Now we need to address complexity. And the first thing we need to address is Poison at $4,800. It's too cheap for him. If you want to take, and obviously, this kind of goes without saying, but complexity are the best leverage on the slate. Now, are they EG like leverage? Can they have an EG size comeback against Gambit? We just saw Gambit crush Astralis. They Gambit come and play him like that. I don't think complexity have a chance. If complexity can come out and give Gambit fits, I think complexity have a chance. I think complexity would need to take it 3 maps, but there's a chance they could do it in 2. But in order for that to happen, you need to see BlameF, Config, and JKS frag. They would be the 3 I would focus around for complexity. And BlameF's 8,000, Config 68, JKS 5,600. I'd go Config, JKS, BlameF. JKS I actually sneakily like as my favorite large field GPP play from complexity in a large field format. Config is more safer in my opinion, but we also know his insane high ceiling. And BlameF being the IGL at 8,000 is too cheap for him. And someone I would want to play. Config 6,800, JKS is 5,600. Again, Poison is ridiculous, $2,000 underpriced at 4,800, and Rush at 4,200. Not someone I'm interested in him. Again, like Inters, I would only go Rush 10 to 15%. He's not someone I have any interest in. He's the support player, in my opinion, for this team. I mean, he has a ceiling. Do you think he gets there against Gambit? That's up for you all to figure out. Core value, GVP, and favorite team stack segment time, folks. Core play for me on this slate is going to be... Alright, I'm just going to come out and say it this way. My core, my value, and my large field GPP are all one player. It's Chopper. At $5,400. He's too cheap. He is a great, great value play. He's a great large field GPP play. And 5,400, he's the closest thing to a core play on this slate that I have, and I'm going to go with him for a core there. I'll give you some more value. Buster 5,800 is a great value. Great value. JKS also 5,600 is a great value. In terms of a large field GPP play. Sorry, folks, my screen keeps going up and down. All right. Config at 6,800. Dexter 9,400. Jame and Axile as well. Folks, it's time for our prize pick segment here on the podcast, and I'm going to go over here to the CSGO tab. And we have 8 options to choose from. I am going to give all of you, 2 of these 8, and I'm going to tell you why. Taking a look at all of these players,